So my name is Roger Deane. I'm a professor and I hold the SKA chair in radio astronomy. That's here at the University of the Witwatersrand, where I am the director for the Wits Centre for Astrophysics. I'm also an extraordinary professor at the University of Pretoria. I am an astrophysicist. More specifically, I'm a radio astronomer. So I use these telescopes that can sense light that our eyes can't see. One of my research areas is trying to understand the nature of black holes. These are some of the more enigmatic objects in the universe. They basically crunch up space-time. They are areas where the gravity is so strong that it really kind of pushes the edge of our understanding of the nature of gravity. So black holes are one of the places, the other being the birth of the universe, where the extremes of nature can be tested. The biggest focus of my research program is on the Meerkat telescope. This is in the Karoo in South Africa, and it is the precursor. It will become the square kilometer array mid-frequency array later this decade. So this is a $1 billion telescope aimed at tackling some of the most fundamental questions we have about the universe, from the nature of black holes, as I've discussed, to the evolution of the universe and galaxies from the Big Bang to present day, all the way through to understanding if we're actually alone in the universe. Yes, so people often ask, what are the societal benefits, what are the practical benefits of studying the cosmos, of studying astronomy? A radio astronomy experiment in Australia that was trying to detect evaporating black holes predicted by Stephen Hawking devised what led to Wi-Fi. So I think as we look forward, it's an incredible time right now, because we've got these major telescopes that are coming online and pushing us into the big data era, where we're having to, by necessity, use machine learning and artificial intelligence to understand and really fully explore our data and therefore the universe. So I'm extremely excited about where we're going to be in 5-10 years' time, and I think it's an amazing time to get involved in the science and technology around astronomy and more broadly in physics in this country. Our telescopes produce masses and masses of data that we have to process at speed, and we require very high performance computing, supercomputers, to actually do this, combined with smart algorithms. So this pushes astronomers combined with astro engineers to really drive forward the cutting edge in what is able to be processed both with the telescope, attached to the telescope, but then also downstream in the analysis of that raw data. Well, one of the things I love about astronomy is I get to work with people from a broad range of disciplines, from engineering to software, data science experts, physicists. To understand the universe, you really need to tackle this from many different angles. When you're trying to pinpoint a galaxy on the other side of the universe, you can't really have a dish that's wobbling around. So you need expert engineers there, millions upon tens of millions of lines of code with brilliant software engineers that drive this. And then that goes through to the analysis at the end. Of course, projects of this nature require huge international collaboration. And the Square Kilometre Array is actually an intergovernmental organization, one of a handful in the world. So there's a whole lot of scientific diplomacy, legal aspects that come into humanity coming together and building this transformational facility that we expect to win many Nobel Prizes. Yeah, so I grew up in the small farming and mining town of Welkom in the Free State. I think some people sometimes joke with me, oh yes, I was flying between Cape Town and Joburg and the pilot pointed out that Welkom was below. That happens quite often. But I actually remember lying on the grass and looking up at those planes on that major flight path, thinking, what was ahead. I can imagine a grade 10 learner now trying to figure out what their future is. Look out for these big projects that spark your curiosity, not necessarily just because you want to get involved in them, but because it gives you a flavor of what's out there, what possibilities. There are a whole host of people doing very interesting things at universities that you could potentially get involved in. Focus on fundamentals rather than trying to pick out a specific degree. Look at, what are the projects that are really interesting? What are the kinds of skills that I need for that? But focus on those, and I promise you that if you work hard, opportunities will come up.